Hello and welcome. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on this special interview on NewsX. We are in conversation today with the entire team of the film Dono. Suraj Barjatya ji, Rajveer, Paloma and Avnish. Welcome all of you. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you for
you.
having us.
Let me begin with you, Suraj ji. It's special, of course, for you, obviously, because Avnish is making his debut. But what do you believe is the USP of the film?
I think the USP of Dono is a very young voice. It's very relatable, and personally for me, it's a different voice for Ashri, and it's a very fresh voice because when Avnish first time told me that he wants to make a film and he said I want to make a film of closure, it took me a while to understand what does closure mean, because it's not something me or my generation have lived. Matlab, of course, I'm talking generally. So when he told me this thought that it's about when you face your fears, we run away. When you face your fears and when you face it, the world opens. When you close that chapter, so I thought it's a very universal thought. And when he said he wants to make a love story about this point, so I think the USP is this thought that to be able to face your situations and to be able to get rid of it, it's in your hands. So like he started the trailer with हम इतना rejection से डरते क्यों हैं, हमें इतना बुराई क्या है. So I think that's a very liberating line.
Yes.
Where you're able to express yourself so freely to each other.
Yeah.
So I think that's the USP.
Okay. Rajveer, how did the film happen for you? Tell us the whole story. And also, obviously you wanted to make your debut for a while in the industry. Did you see this as being the perfect launch film?
So I got to know this movie through the casting agency. I'm not really out there, so Avnish also didn't know I existed. Not many people know I exist. So when I met Avnish and I heard the narration and the story, I immediately fell in love with Dave, the character, and the whole story. I found it very unique. I found it very relatable, and I thought people will really like this because it sounded like something different. So then I did 3 rounds of audition with Avnish, and after 2 weeks of waiting and seeing if I'm getting the role or not, I got the phone call, and yeah, the rest is history.
Yes, absolutely. Paloma, the same question to you. How did it happen for you? Tell us the story, and also, do you see this as the perfect launch film for you?
Absolutely. I don't think I could have asked for anything better than getting launched with Rajshri Productions. And in this particular story, as a youngster, I've gotten to, really explore different emotions, really push myself and kind of portray a very real character. So I feel very lucky for that in a first film to be able to do that. And speaking about the process of getting this film as well, my first audition was during lockdown. So I was self-testing at home. We were not going to any casting offices at the time. They were all shut. So we sent videos to them, and it was a whole process. We went through multiple rounds. I got big monologues from them, which I felt very excited about sinking my teeth into. And we did a Zoom audition also. I remember it was a different experience. Then I went to the Rajshri office. Both of us did one round of auditions together. So that was the process. It was a long process that we went through, and finally it felt so great finally when I got that call from Avnish telling me that I've been selected for the film.
Yes. Okay. Avnish, did you always know that it had to be Dono for you to step into the world of films? ये कहानी कैसे आई उसके बारे में ज़रा बताएं, और and when did you decide that you wanted to be a filmmaker?
So ever since I was a kid, I mean, the love for cinema existed all around me. So I definitely felt inspired by the world of cinema. When I was in my teens, I think I started to see cinema as more than just an entertaining field. एक art form भी है, और एक बहुत ही beautiful art form है. There is such a beautiful logic, such a beautiful seamlessness, a magic that exists behind every single shot, every single dialogue. And once you start admiring that, there's no greater joy than watching a great film, and no greater desire than कि यार एक film बना सकूं. So that's where that inspiration came from. That's when it started. Dono, I was looking for a subject to write about. My father always said that make a film that where you want to say something. And that's something that you believe in, something that you feel that people around you believe in. And when we came across this subject, where there's a guy who's been in love with his best friend, who's for 10 years, he hasn't told her. and she's getting married and he has to go to her wedding. So this is a story we've seen.
Yes.
But he's going there not to break up the wedding. He's going there looking for closure. And this topic of closure really attracted me. I just felt that it's something that is very relatable to people of my generation, younger than me, older than me, because everyone's gone through it. And we've seen films where, you know, एक तरफा प्यार हमने देखा हुआ है, या फिर like a Devdas, you know, you have the grief of a love that's not fulfilled, just drowns you. But the most organic thing to do is to truly, in a very healthy way, move on, which is so much easier said than done. That's why when we started to write this film and we started to work on this topic of closure, something about it really inspired me. I thought it could be a great story, and that's how Dono came about.
Okay. Well, yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's a modern tale for a modern India,
Yes.
No doubt, which people will be able to relate to. As I said at the start, आपने इनको क्या बोला? What was your one piece of advice when he had told you that he not just wanted to make Dono, but wanted to, you know, make a film and enter filmmaking?
Honestly, I never thought Avnish will be a filmmaker. I always
Acha.
thought he'll be a great businessman. So when he told me he wants to make films, I wasn't surprised, but I was curious that what kind of cinema will he make, and I really did not want him to just follow what I make, and I'm so happy he's made something that he believes in, and every time I have conversations with him about Dev Meghna's character, it surprises me because his characters are so layered,
Yes.
so different than mine.
Ji.
When I start with a boy, girl, like I always asked him that when are they going to fall in love? He said, no, love will happen, but when will it happen? Songs, love has to happen. So for him, it's beyond love,
Yeah.
it's beyond singing songs. So it's the whole process started with this journey of him wanting to say something, which
Yeah.
I think is very, very profound for any filmmaker. He has to have his own voice.
Yeah.
And I hope that when people see Dono, they relate to the young world and relate to Rashtree in a new light.
Absolutely, in a new light, exactly. You know, both of you are from film families. Did you know each other before? People are enjoying the chemistry already. I'm sure they'll see more of it when they watch the film. Did you know each other at all before, or did you meet for the film for the first
I
time?
think we met once when I was 14 and she was 13.
13. We
Yeah.
met once, yeah. And then after that, I don't think we ever met till we met for the Zoom meeting.
After like
Okay.
10 years or something.
Acha.
Yeah.
And meeting through Zoom.
Yes.
Yes.
During
Yes.
during COVID.
You have to adapt. It was fun. I mean, I was taken back how easy it would be to work with her and how professional she was, how nice she was, and how dedicated she was. It was just a breeze to work with her.
When did you decide, Radvi, that you wanted to, you know, become an actor and enter the industry?
I think I always knew as a kid. I
Okay.
just always knew. I wasn't sure as a kid, but there's so many things. I even said I wanted to join the army
Acha.
after watching my dad's movies. I wanted to be a basketball player. I wanted to do something with video games. But acting always stayed there in the back of my mind. I did theatre in school, confidence built up from there. I did some workshops after school. I went abroad, I did acting in front of the camera courses. And then when I came back, I took a big gap, assisting my brother's movie. And during lockdown, I still knew I wanted to do this. And yeah, I got to know Avnish is casting for this movie, and I threw my hat in.
That's how it happened.
Yes.
But that's quite interesting that you say this, that, you know, you wanted to be an army officer seeing your father's film.
Yes.
I'm sure many people
I've
have been
heard
inspired
so many
by
stories.
Border and, you know,
Yes,
many others
yes,
exactly
yes.
wanting to. But when was the first time you told them, your father, formally, ki, I want to do this, and what did he tell you? Your father, your uncle, your grandfather, who are all, of course, legends in their
They
own
knew
right.
because they saw my plays. They knew because they saw the courses of the videos I've shot. So they always knew. It was not a moment where I could say I wanted to act. They just knew that nothing's going to stop this boy.
What's the best, do you remember one advice they've told you, and who?
My dad just says never give up. You know, always focus on your acting. That's what takes you ahead. Stardom and whatever else you want to label it as, that happens through your work and your characters you play. So that's the main thing he's always told.
Okay, well, I met him earlier today, and we can see that he's very excited, and obviously a protective dad as well, gearing up for your debut. Paloma, same questions to you. When did you decide that, you know, you wanted to enter films?
You know, it randomly happened when I was in college. I ended up acting for the first time in college. I had
Okay.
not ever acted or performed before. I was a very athletic kid. I was into sports. I played national level handball and football. So in school, those were my memories. My passion was that. And then college, it was a new kind of experience I had altogether with acting. And I loved it so much. And in fact, that feeling that I would get after winning a match or
Yeah.
scoring a goal, I got after actually performing. So I was very excited about finding a new passion and
Yeah.
hobby. So I wanted to explore that more, and my things sort of started from there. I ended up assisting in a casting department as well. I assisted a film. And I wanted to know more about, what goes into this entire profession. And then I started giving auditions, and that was my journey. Yeah.
So college time is around when you first आए,
Yes.
कीड़ा पहली बार आया, as they
Definitely,
say.
जी.
What did your mother say when you told her कि मैंने फैसला कर लिया है?
Mom, of course, was very supportive. I think both my parents, since I was a kid, have been very supportive of my hobbies and passions. I'm very lucky. Dad was like, "Are you sure? This is such a risky industry. It's so unpredictable." But I think the passion that I had convinced both of them that I'm very sure about this.
Uh-huh.
And they're proud parents today when they see the film
Did
coming
did
out.
they give you a piece of advice as well, or did they say go and chart your own course?
Mom talks about not being afraid of stepping out of your comfort zone. There's so many things that we're learning on a daily basis. There's so many experiences now. So don't be scared. Embrace it. Enjoy the process. We're not going to get this time back. So yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm sure if I ask you what your favorite film, even 10 years down the line of Avnish's will be, you will always say Dono, because first film, always special. But let me ask the three of you, what is your favorite Sunny Deol film?
So many. Arjun. Arjun.
Yours. Your favorite Poonam Ji film?
Trishul, Noori, Savere Wali Gari also I loved. Karma was a brilliant movie as well. How can I pick one? Yeah.
Okay. Suraj ji ki?
It keeps changing, but ever since we started working on Dono, this Dono is also a film based at a wedding.
Yeah.
So at this point of time, it's Hum Aapke Hain Kaun.
Okay. Okay.
But it's a very different wedding.
Yeah.
There are vachan वगैरह कम है. It's a
Yeah.
more of
Yeah.
layers of what happens behind marriages.
As you said, it's going to enable audiences to look at Rajashri Productions in a different way.
yeah, that's-
And as I said at the start, I'm very intrigued. I think the teaser got us hooked. Then we saw the trailer, and people are dying to watch it. Your labor of love. So all the very best to all of you. Thank you so much for joining us. And दोनों ही मत जाओ, पूरे परिवार को लेकर जाओ and enjoy the movie. Thank you once again for being with us.
Thank you.